for him to challenge me.
As for the Bam Rodriguez fight, Inoue said he'd take it, but it was all about timing, and I completely agree. Bam Rodriguez has a couple of divisions to go before he reaches where Inoue's at right now, and whilst I don't think naturally there's a giant size difference between them.
3 years, but gut feeling, yes or no, do you two ever meet in the boxing ring?
I believe so. I've always believed so, that we will meet eventually down the line, but it's just a matter of...
After earning a unanimous decision victory over Alan David Picasso, Naoya Inoue named Bam Rodriguez as one of the opponents he would be interested in facing next. Inoue controlled the fight against Picasso to maintain his undefeated record before discussing what could come next in his career. Although most attention has centered on a possible super fight with Junto Nakatani, Inoue also mentioned Bam Rodriguez as a fighter he would be willing to face if the timing and weight class align. That possibility would become more realistic if Bam moves up to Inoue's division.
Fight against one of the other super champions, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, if he came up in weight.
たくさんのファイターが井上さんに挑戦したいと言っています。その中にバン・ロドリゲス選手もいると思います。階級をもしかしたら上げてバム選手と対戦するということは可能性はあるんでしょうか。
そうですね。彼が階級を上げてきて、スーパーバンタム級という階級でタイミングが合うのであれば、そこは、待ち受けたいなと思ってます。
Yeah, when he's ready. And if we can fight at the super bantam class, and if our timing perfectly each other, yeah, I'd love to.
If Naoya Inoue and Bam Rodriguez ever shared the ring, it could become one of boxing's biggest and most heavily discussed matchups. Inoue has a major experience advantage, having established himself as a pound-for-pound superstar and an undisputed 122-pound champion. Bam, meanwhile, is still developing his resume in the lighter divisions. So many analysts would likely favor Inoue because of the difference in experience. Still, the attention, money, and global exposure this fight could create would be enormous for both fighters because of their strong reputations in the sport. Rodriguez has also admitted publicly that a fight with Inoue is not realistic at the moment, as he currently competes at 115 pounds and would need to move up, potentially passing through 118 pounds before reaching 122. Many insiders believe Bam should first become undisputed at 115 and then establish himself in the higher weight classes before an Inoue showdown can truly happen. That means several major fights could still stand between Rodriguez and the dream matchup with Inoue.
As for the Bam Rodriguez fight, Inoue said he'd take it, but it was all about timing, and I completely agree. Bam Rodriguez has a couple of divisions to go before he reaches where Inoue's at right now, and whilst I don't think naturally there's a giant size difference between them, Inoue is much more experienced than Bam Rodriguez is. Not only that, but he's used to fighting in that higher division now. His body's had time to grow into it. And with the age gap, there's about 7 years between them. Bam's still only 25. He's got plenty of developing to do. I'm just not sure we're ever going to see that one. I mean, look, I'd be so damn excited if it got made. Maybe they would do it at a catchweight or something. I don't know. But I do believe there'd be a lot of money in that fight. I mean, a lot of money as far as those lightweight divisions go as well, because they're two massive names. And there's no one around that can really even contend with either of those guys. I mean, I mentioned the Nakatani fight before, and whilst I don't like to ever make predictions without studying properly, I've already looked at Nakatani in quite some detail, and I just don't believe he's a great style matchup for Inoue. I mean, sorry, I think he's a good style matchup for Inoue, and that I think Inoue will find it quite a comfortable fight. I don't see Nakatani being able to do too much to Inoue, but I need to sit down and really think about that one before I call it clearly. Bam Rodriguez, on the other hand, he offers a whole different puzzle. I think he's an elite level fighter already at 25. I think his frame's big enough that he can eventually go up to the same division as Inoue and beat up there with him and fight in that division. But also, you don't want to rush him. You don't want to put him there for putting him there's sake, just because there's money on the line, because he's going to be a superstar, and I'm sure there's always going to be some degree of payday on the line. But yeah, I mean, if they can make that fight, I think they should, because you don't get many opportunities to make mega fights like that, as I say, especially in those lower weight divisions. So, look, for me, if you're Inoue, there's two ways of looking at it. Either you let Nakatani go and create a bit more hype around his name, go and get a better win than what he just had, or you just get that super fight done, because there ain't going to be many Japanese super fights. Not for Inoue anyway, not right now. Or you say, let's do Bam next. But either way, I think he should fight both of them before he's done. I would love to see that. The other, and I suppose the third option that we should maybe briefly mention is Inoue goes up another weight division. I think in terms of the lack of...
Promoter Eddie Hearn has made it clear that a Naoya Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez matchup sounds exciting on paper, but the two fighters are currently at very different points in their careers. Hearn has called the potential showdown more of a fantasy fight for now because Rodriguez is still competing at super flyweight, while Inoue is firmly established at super bantamweight. That means Bam would have to move up 2 weight classes to make the fight possible. Hearn believes Rodriguez is not ready to make that jump yet. He needs more time to develop in the bigger divisions, unify titles, and build valuable experience before taking on one of boxing's biggest stars. Once Rodriguez moves up and proves himself at bantamweight and super bantamweight, Hearn believes there could finally be a realistic path toward an Inoue showdown.
This fight coming up with Cuba on the ring card on November 22nd in Saudi is a brilliant performance. Talk about fashion stars. That's going to be amazing to watch. When Bam wins that fight, we need one belt to become undisputed. So that's Taraji now fighting with Garcia. Bam against Taraji, I know he's got big hopes of fighting in Japan himself. If we go over to Japan and fight Taraji for undisputed, that would line up a potential fight. We might be Japan and we expect the new way to fight Nakatani, I think it's on. But yeah, Bam is 100% moving to bantamweight. Does he go to super bantam in time? Does he catch a new way in time? What a fight.
You've been calling for that fight for a long time. Your message is you want this little great giant man to look too vicious out of a monster.
Sean Porter has analyzed the potential matchup between Naoya Inoue and Bam Rodriguez, explaining why he would favor Inoue. Porter highlights several key advantages for Inoue, including his age, size, and experience, which could create a significant gap between the two fighters. Inoue is slightly older, physically stronger, and far more experienced against elite-level opposition, giving him an advantage over Rodriguez. Although Bam is highly skilled and possesses impressive speed, he would be moving up in weight from around 114 pounds toward the 122-pound division, which could make the challenge even tougher. Porter still believes the matchup would be extremely entertaining, but feels Bam needs more experience and physical strength to compete with someone of Inoue's level. He describes Inoue as a monster when it comes to both physical ability and boxing skill, making him the clear favorite. Overall, Porter views it as a fascinating fight but sees Inoue holding the distinct advantage.
I think with this two right here, I think that gap in that weight actually does matter. I think that gap in that weight, Inoue being slightly older, more experienced and things like that, I am inclined to favor Inoue in this fight, even though I haven't seen as much Inoue as I've seen Bam. But the reason why I favor is because the age gap, the size gap. That's big for the little guys. And Inoue is a monster. He's a monster. So I think that Inoue would be the favorite and on the betting odds and the blah 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 blah. And it's a hell of a fight. But I just feel like there's a gap there. There's a gap there that I don't like.
And just meet at 122. Just Bam comes up.
Bam would be coming because I think Bam said like 114.
Yeah, he 114.
Yeah.
I'm saying if they do fight.
Oh yeah. You got to meet at 122. Yeah, because he's at 126 now.
Oh, he kept going.
I think he's at 126 now, right?
He got another fight. His last fight was actually at 122 still.
Okay. So
but yeah, he could be going up for this fight.
Mm-hmm. I think
super bantamweight.
I think Inoue is on record for saying 126 is as high as he's gonna go. I think he's on record for saying that. But again, once you get there and you see how much more you might have left and blah 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 blah, I do think that that's a hell of a fight.
Yes. I would like to see Bam get more experience.
Bam has to have more experience.
That's the number one thing.
He has to have more strength. Let me say this real quick, and now I think we can get out of here. Strength doesn't mean putting on muscle so that you can hit somebody and clock them. There's strength that you need to withstand what you're getting hit with as well. And Bam has to really build his body up a little bit more, getting in the ring with somebody like Inoue, who has both speed, power, quick, who has the
Rodriguez has repeatedly stated that a fight with Naoya Inoue is ultimately a matter of timing. He believes that when the right opportunity arrives, the two sides will make the matchup happen. Bam remains confident that if his career continues progressing and everything lines up properly, the highly anticipated super fight could eventually become a reality. That outlook reflects more than just his personal ambition, as major boxing matchups often require patience and the perfect circumstances. Following Naoya Inoue's dominant victory over Alan David Picasso, the boxing world is now focused on what could come next for the undisputed super bantamweight champion. Inoue successfully defended his titles with a convincing unanimous decision, once again showing why he is widely regarded as one of the sport's top pound-for-pound fighters. With that win behind him, two potential opponents have emerged in the conversation: Junto Nakatani and Bam Rodriguez, both offering very different but equally intriguing options for Inoue's next challenge.
Would walk away at the end of the day with a unanimous decision victory. Although, alike to the last fight, I don't understand how one of the judges scored this fight 117-111. Like, where were the rounds he pulled for Picasso? I don't get it, but boxing scoring overall is a discussion for another day. Yet, Inoue said in the post-fight interview that he thought this was a disappointing performance for him, although there was no real reason for him to apologize. It was a beautiful boxing display from start to finish. And if you're at home just getting into the sport, please go watch his back catalogue. He is, in my opinion, one of the most brilliant fighters of our time. But back on the track, Inoue was also asked in this post-fight interview if the Nakatani fight is next. It doesn't sound like it's just signed off yet. He didn't explicitly say it's next, but he did tease that Japanese fight fans should expect something good. So I would assume it's almost there. The date, which is floating around online for this potential fight, is the 3rd of May at the legendary Tokyo Dome. Fighting at the Tokyo Dome is a pretty big deal. Inoue, throughout his career, has only fought there once against Neri, and it was also home to one of the biggest upsets in boxing history, with Tyson Douglas occurring at the same venue. It's a pretty big deal to fight there, and it's a pretty fitting home for an event which could be one of the biggest boxing bouts to ever occur in Japan. Two Japanese pound-for-pound level fighters facing off in their primes. You really can't ask for much more. Really, I don't see a way this doesn't happen. I think the Saudis are determined to make it happen, and after the two have now won their respective bouts, and with the Saudis involved, unless something...
Chris Algieri has openly praised Naoya Inoue during his commentary, describing him as a rare and special fighter. He sees Inoue as a true warrior whose skills and mindset separate him from many other elite boxers. His confidence, precise technique, and exceptional ring IQ have earned comparisons to some of the sport's greatest legends, with Algieri stressing that Inoue's blend of speed, power, and tactical intelligence makes him truly unique. Interest in a potential showdown between Naoya Inoue and Bam Rodriguez continues to build throughout the boxing world. Fans, analysts, and fighters all view it as a rare clash between two elite champions from different weight classes, both recognized for their speed, skill, and ring intelligence. Social media conversations, interviews, and highlight videos continue to demonstrate the growing excitement surrounding the matchup. Many believe the fight would not only be highly competitive but could also become one of the biggest events in the lower weight divisions. With both fighters possessing major reputations and worldwide appeal, the demand is obvious. Everyone wants to discover whether Bam's rapid rise can finally challenge Inoue's dominance inside the ring.
The big one for me would probably be Inoue against Bam Rodriguez.
Okay.
That's top. That's the one I want to watch.
Yeah. That's a boxing IQ at its
That's
peak.
like Pacquiao and Mayweather. Like if they would have fought in their prime, you get me? They never did. It was not in the prime. They could still make the fight happen, but it was not in the prime. Right now, Inoue against Bam Rodriguez, brother. Man, I'll pay top dollar. I'll fly to Japan, wherever. I want to watch that fight.
And you know, the beautiful thing about that fight is I think we still haven't seen.
Bam Rodriguez has made it clear that a fight with Naoya Inoue is something he would like to see happen someday, but only when the timing is right. Bam has emphasized that he is not trying to rush the process and understands that a fighter's career must develop naturally. For now, his attention remains on improving, gaining valuable experience, and taking care of business in his current division. Rodriguez believes that if he keeps winning and moves through the weight classes at the right pace, a showdown with Inoue will eventually make perfect sense. He sees the potential matchup as a matter of patience rather than pressure, trusting that once both fighters reach the right point in their careers, the fight will come together at the perfect time.
I know one name that's been mentioned a lot is Naoya Inoue. I think you said you were 2-3 years off. Gut feeling, right? Will you two ever meet? do you think? I know 3 years, we're not sure where he might be at. I'm sure we know where you'll be at in 3 years, but gut feeling, yes or no, do you two ever meet in the boxing ring?
I believe so. I've always believed so that we will meet eventually down the line, but it's just a matter of time. Hopefully, when the time comes, he's still around.
Jesse Bam Rodriguez spoke about fighting pound-for-pound champion Naoya Inoue after his impressive knockout win against Juan Estrada. In what was an action-packed fight between the two super flyweight boxers, Jesse Bam Rodriguez knocked out Juan Estrada with a solid body shot by the end of the 7th round. After this victory, the new WBC and Ring Magazine super flyweight world champion was asked about his thoughts of sharing the same ring with arguably the biggest name in the lower weight division, and that is pound-for-pound Japanese boxer Naoya Inoue. Jesse Bam Rodriguez did not let the intense emotions cloud his judgment. Instead, he pumped the brakes and gave a solid response in regards to fighting Inoue. He said, quote, "I know people want that, but let's be real. Right now, it's a fantasy fight. I gotta work my way up. Inoue's at 122 pounds right now. I'm barely at 115. So I got business to handle here at this weight class. I gotta make my way up." Bam stated that rather letting this victory get into his head, he would rather stay in his lane first and make sure that he...
Veteran trainer Robert Garcia has explained that a matchup between Naoya Inoue and Bam Rodriguez would not necessarily be a one-sided fight. He acknowledges that Inoue is older and has significantly more experience, but believes Bam possesses the talent and ability to earn such an opportunity if he continues developing, gaining maturity, and building strength through increasingly difficult challenges. Garcia feels that if Inoue remains active while Bam continues progressing through important tests, the potential showdown could become a highly competitive and fascinating matchup when the timing is right.
Is it too far of a stretch to see Bam go up against Inoue? I know there's been talk of that, and I know Bam did a few interviews where he mentioned that, you know, he could see himself facing Inoue.
It is very realistic. Look, Canelo started at 154, Tank at 135, so that's a big difference. With Inoue and Bam, they both started at 108. They both, you know, it's just that Inoue's a little bit older. He's matured a little bit more body-wise and everything. That's why he's fighting at 122, not because he's a lot bigger than Bam. I think we're maybe 2-3 years from maybe if Inoue is still, you know, if he's still fighting and if he's still around there, you know, maybe even at 126, you know, in the near future. They are not far. I think you know, 2-3 years from now, I think it's a fight that we could.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has also shared his thoughts on the situation, offering a more realistic perspective on how the matchup could develop. He points out that Rodriguez is currently competing at super flyweight and will likely need to move up through the divisions before he is genuinely ready to face Inoue. According to Hearn, Bam still has several important fights ahead of him, potentially at bantamweight and higher, before a showdown with Inoue becomes a realistic possibility. The physical demands of moving between weight classes, along with the direction of Inoue's own career, will play major roles in determining whether the fight can eventually happen.
Right, can we just call out Naoya Inoue now at 122, you know? And I think people talk about Inoue going up and fighting Tank. Why can't Bam go up and fight Inoue as well? I mean, that's not got Robert Garcia's blessing, but it's been talked about in the past. And I do see, you know, Bam in the last fight really struggled to make flyweight against Sonny, and it's mad because they were talking about him winning world titles at 108 as well. So I think he now knows that Superfly is his division, but he will 100% move to bantamweight.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates and boxing news.